otherwise unholy. So your BiS list is technically still the same. Why the fuck do I have my black magic here? Your BiS list is technically still the same as it was before, but like you're not having prior on combat anymore. On like 3 minutes, it's like 250 DPS, 240-ish something, and on like
I think
yeah, go ahead.
officially, I'm officially just recommending to give it to like enhance first.
Yeah.
I put unholy about the same prio one like on it as rogues are, maybe a little less.
I think rogues still benefit a bit more from it because assassination rogues, for example, keep it in TOC if you have an assassination. So
Yeah,
there's
like I think enhance first, then safe to go rogue, and then you're unholy.
yeah, I would just give it like if everyone like if all your rogues got it, enhanced got it, you can just give it to unholy if it drops. But it's really not a big deal because common TOC we're just replacing it. Like even first week if you get Death Choice heroic, you're just gonna use it. And yeah, unholy should get it either way. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's not
Death Choice, Death Verdict, it is the unholy trinket. That is their it is game BiS.
Yep. So yeah, I really won't worry about Comet. Like yeah, sure you don't have Prime anymore, but it's like it's not Comet is not that good to be honest. Like it was always okay because like you can snapshot it, right? But like by itself, like you just look at it without snapshotting, it's like 700 haste for 10 seconds, right? Okay, for 10 seconds, okay. And you have 270 attack power. Nice. It's like a lot of stats, but like it's not really that big, right? If you think about it, like compared to greatness or something. Like it's basically on par with greatness because it has attack power. Like it's whatever.
It is actually still worse than greatness. Too.
Yeah, it is. Like,
yeah.
It's still with like 50 item level difference, it's still worse than greatness. And yeah, I wouldn't worry about this. Alternatively, what do you have? So your like Mark and Organon is a very good option. Then you have Fury of the Five Lights is actually better on the AoE fight. So if you have that, you can use it on Freya and stuff like that. Yogg V0 maybe as well. It's kind of decent. Mimiron as well. That would be nice because your carries would be scuffed. Mark of Organon is fine though. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm actually getting a Wrathstone as simming about 20 DPS higher than Mark as well.
Yeah, I got it to sim like 50, 60 higher actually.
Yeah,
so
like it's yeah. As the fights get shorter, it gets better.
Yeah. Also, it's better in AoE as well, so that's definitely a solid option, and not many people want it. So you can get rest on it. Also, you have to consider that Mark of Notgun is a Dorkshire trinket because it has expertise on it. Like I hate it so much. Like you have to play around with expertise because of that. So just try to get something else. Like get Fury, you're gonna be fine with Fury. Otherwise, if Reston, Reston drops, you can get it. It's like super nice. And I wouldn't worry about trinkets like Blood of the Old God. They're kind of scuffed because like 114 hit, it's whatever. And the proc chance on this is like so low. It's basically a mirror, but like a boosted mirror. So it's decent, but it's not really better than Mark of Notgun. Basically, they seem about the same. Even sometimes worse on this one, and you have less control. And yeah, so basically just if you don't have Mark of Organon or Fury of the Five Lights, try to put your hands on the Reststone, and otherwise it doesn't matter. Like there's not many other options. Dark Matter is like 100 DPS upgrade, but you won't have prior on it. So yeah, rings. So your base rings, create construct ring, easiest ring to get. Drops from XT normal, same as your sigil. You have prior on it because it's your base and no one else has it in their base list. Pretty simple. This one, it's around 200 DPS upgrade basically. It's quite a bit larger than on Frost and same, it's bigger than on Red as well. So you should most likely have prior on this. Ideally, though, like okay, you could pass it if you wanted to someone, but yeah, in theory,
I think it's safe to take prio on it since we're no longer taking Comet, and Comet is still technically the highest DPS item, even if it is not nearly as good as it was.
Yep. Otherwise, wrists. So wrists, you're a Bedlam, and you don't really want anything else because if you have these, the only upgrade, this real upgrade there is, it's Bedlam basically. There is no other options because Frost has these, and yeah, like these are not even an upgrade for Unholy over Unrelenting Attack. I think it's like 15 DPS or something, so you really don't care about those. So yeah, as soon as Bedlam drops, it should just instantly land in your pockets, honestly. And yeah, same thing with the boots basically. Like these two items should be like safe Unholy items. I wouldn't really worry about them because there's not many other options, and it's like just way bigger for you than it is for anyone else. And the pants are the same thing, like same stats as well. Haste crit, so like I really would give priority to Unholy on these three items without any question, to be honest. Yeah. The cloak, we already talked about it, basically. This is your technical BiS cloak, but it's like, I wouldn't really give the item to Unholy like early on, just when everyone else has. Like, it's not...
My last sims, it was literally 15 DPS worse than, or 15 DPS better than the Ignis 10-man cloak.
Yeah, it's a real joke, like honestly, you don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
Ignis cloak, literally the first boss, like if not counting Flaming Leviathan, normal mode, you just go and kill it on the first week and it's amazing. Just get this cloak, you can put it on your BiS list if you wanted to, like it's amazing.
Ignis cloak is like one of the easiest, biggest DPS increases you can get.
Yep, it's like 100
It's
and something
ridiculously good.
DPS. Yeah. Plus, it makes your Void Saber better because you have less hit.
Yep.
Because you have like less hit now, and Void Saber puts you at hit cap, basically spell hit cap. Look at that, 295, amazing. So, nice cloak. Your BiS neck is from Algon 10 man, amazing, super easy to get. You don't really have competition on this. It's like people can use it as like in term like items, but like they don't really care about them that much. So it's like Algon 10 man, pretty simple to get in a decent guild. Like BiS item, nice. Your helm, this is your BiS helm. So it's all going to like your competition is like Frost DKs and what are they called? Red Paladins, right?
Red Paladins, yeah.
Yeah, so like you should have prior on this honestly, because Frost DKs, if they have their 4 set, like the helm, it's actually like a smaller upgrade for Frost DK because they're coming from Great Helm, right? Because it has expertise, plus it's 226, and Unholy can't really use that if they have Norgodon, so it's going to be a larger upgrade for them. But you could make the argument that Unholy can use Iron Rebooted for Helm. If your guild does give it to you, then you could pass this to whoever, like honestly, because it is still a huge upgrade over this one, but like you could say if you take this, you could pass this one. But like honestly, Unholy should still have prior on this one. But like we have prior on so many items, it doesn't really matter anymore. So.
The helm is one of the smaller upgrades you can
Yeah.
kind of just seed early because it's not as big a deal as like boots are or ring is.
Yeah, it's like 200 something, maybe a bit less. I haven't seen that much, but yeah, it's a nice upgrade. But like I wouldn't worry about this too much, honestly. And then we have our what do we have? Our gauntlets. So free item, no one wants them. Same as the ring, and the belt, which you can pass to Frost DK, which is not a big deal because this one is still pretty solid. I mean, obviously a huge upgrade, but it's okay, not that big of a deal. And yeah, I think we've gone over everything basically. The sigil you have pray on, and the weapons is basically the same case as Frost DK, except you could, for example, if you're in a 10 man with an enhancement shaman, and you could just take Cerulas and for example the first one, and then you can just pass Crass to enhance forever. But like you should have prior technique on your main hand on Crass. But if you're nice, you can pass the first one because you have other options. And then for your offhand, your BiS is technically Crass, but like if you have an Organ or something, you can just use Void Saber. It's quite close.
It's like I think even in like the 2 BiS setups, Void Saber is only like 13 DPS worse on the offhand.
I was getting like 40, 50, but like it depends on the gear. If you have like Comet Trail or something. But
yeah.
Anyways, it's not a big deal. Like it's like, this item is free. No one wants it. Literally, no one wants it. No one can use it. Like rogues don't want swords. They don't give a fuck. Like so, Forest DK is 1.5 speed. No one else can use it. Shamans can't even touch it. So, yeah, free item, amazing, beautiful. Why do I sound like Gordon Ramsay? But yeah, just get this and try to get Crass. And I think that's basically it. There's not much else. It's pretty straightforward for Unholy. There's like many items you have pry on, and the rest is pretty simple. Like there's just a bunch of free items that are amazing. And yeah, and I think, do people want to go over like normal mode items, like normal mode only?
A lot of normal mode items are all fall within kind of the same range of like being almost exactly identical to each other.
Yep.
Like chances are for a lot of normal mode items, they will be an upgrade over your next piece. It's just not going to be huge. Like you take it because it's more stamina, it's more strength, and just don't worry about it.
I'm just gonna go over it like quickly. This helm is pretty nice. It's like a solid upgrade. You can take this. Any neck in 25 mans is amazing. This neck is a huge like 100 DPS upgrade. Like if it drops, like if you're doing normals only, you can take it and it's your prior as Unholy. So this is amazing. Your Ignis Cloak, we talked about that. Your set pieces are super easy to get. Your wrists, you're just keeping your next wrists in the beginning until you can get Bedlam because there's no other decent options. Your weapons, your Ulduar 25 man fast weapons are basically free. So Stone Render, Remorse, no one wants them. Like no one can use them. So you just take those when you can and you're fine. Sigil, no one cares about that. The trinkets, like we said, Redstone, and you can just keep your next trinkets like Norganon or Fury the 5 Lights. Your rings, you still have prior on this and it's normal mode item. And alternatively, you can use just like a random 10 man ring like this one, it's whatever, or like Blade Bearers, whatever. Your boots, these are decent, like it's not that big of an upgrade actually. Like in next gear I think it's like basically nothing, so you don't really care, but like it's whatever. Your pants, you can get set pants, normal set pants, or you can get leg plates of Violet Champion. They're pretty decent and should be a decent upgrade. It's a decent chunk of strength. And your belt, you're just keeping your next belt and you're fine. And then you get your BiS gloves, which are from free normal mode, and this is what basically your normal mode gear looks like. I mean, like, I didn't change every piece, but yeah, it's quite simple to get. I was simming it yesterday actually, so if you go from next and you get like a few pieces like the helm, shoulders, like chest, shit like that, you get like 800 DPS if just with normal mode items. So that's pretty solid. And like
Yeah,
most
Unholy definitely gets the most from just raw strength from
Yep.
these items.
And yeah, I think we've went over all the gear. Do you have anything to add, boys?
Not really. I mean, it's very straightforward now. There's not a lot of pieces that we can test other people for, so it's very easy to just get what we need and get out.
Yeah, there's one that I when I went over it yesterday also was the helm, like you mentioned, was just to like if you were dealing with like your frost decay, you could take the iron riveted war helm or the second best helm.
Yeah.
So that because you're taking like the leggings and the boots and the frost decay is like kind of having to give you those because it's not that bad as like a secondary option until you have it.
Yeah. But like we said, like breaking the 4-set on Frost is like next 4-set is just not really worth it. So like getting these offset pieces is not going to do much for you if you're having to break the 4-set. So like you really don't care early on Frost. So yeah.
Yeah, Frost, Unholy, you just throw shit on as you get it. Frost is you're going to take a few pieces before you can even equip like any of these main slot pieces.
So you really wouldn't want to give them any like loot they wouldn't be able to use early on, so because there's no point. You can just wait a few weeks until like Unholies are happy and shit, and they can get their pieces. And it's like
Yeah,
the weapons are the only real big upgrades for Frost. And yeah, and they get prey on their belt, so they can be happy in their corner, I guess.
and like there's no world in which an Unholy Death Knight should be taking Frost Death Knight weapons in 10 man. So like
Yeah.
Frost is very comfortable going in.
And so is Unholy, to be honest, because of that, because it's 10-man weapons. It's kind of nice.
You're probably the only DK in your 10-man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should be. In theory, you should be 1 DK. I mean, ideally, you would bring like 1 DK with the Frost main spec. I mean, you would be like even if you're Unholy just respec for 10 mans, you get the Frost spec, and maybe get like a Bloody Key off spec so you can tank on some fights where you need to, and that's it.
Yeah.
So in theory, like a DK should know how to play all the 3 specs and have gear for all of it. In theory, there is. But yeah, otherwise you're gonna have to bring like a second tank, like a Red Paladin or something, so you can tank on some trash fights, or like not even trash. Algolon, someone has to tank it. Alright, you need 2 tanks. So yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Learn to play every spec so that for on Death Knight, so you don't have to play with a Ret Paladin.
Also that, and you also you get pry on your items in 10 mans. It helps. And yeah, I think that's it on gear wise. There's not much else.